rum, cigars, Fidel, communists, salsa music, revolution. I arrive on the island with all these ideas in my head and a suitcase full of amenities for friends I haven't made yet. When I was planning my trip to Cuba, friends who had traveled there advised me to bring an extra suitcase and to fill it with toothbrushes, toilet paper, lotion, razors, and other sundries Cuban people have a hard time getting. They were right. La Habana is a riot of colonial buildings collapsing in on themselves with neglect, but they're beautiful. Old cars, newer cars, and buses clog the streets. An occasional horse-drawn buggy ambles along, laden with fruit and vegetables meant for the government markets. I explore the city with my friends. I'm in and out of tourist joints where every souvenir is emblazoned with Che Guevara. I spend my evenings on the Malecón in La Habana, drinking Bucanero beer, smoking harsh Cuban cigarettes, and listening to strolling guitarists. My new friends and I talk politics away from the ears of the government spies my friends insist are everywhere. I go to see a holy man. He tells me through a haze of cigar smoke to take care of my eyes. I watch a government tractor bulldoze a house to the ground because the residents didn't have permission to live in Havana. My friends love their country but hold no illusions. They want change, the freedom to make decisions about where their lives will take them. Everyone I speak to has family outside. There is an undercurrent of tension as I will leave and they can't. Everywhere I go, I see a certain type of Cuban flocking to tourists, a jinotero, a Cuban who wants a foreigner to fall in love with them and marry them to take the Cuban off the island. There are tourists who prey upon the dreams of these locals. Everyone knows someone who's left the island in the grace of love or a willing tourist. I'm walking one warm night, chatting with my friends in Spanish when someone grabs my arm. He's not Cuban, probably 6'2", with a shaved head that's sunburnt orange. He has big blue eyes, is in his 40s. He gives me a huge smile and says in Rosetta Stone Spanish, "Hola, señorita, eres muy bonita." "Gracias," I reply. Then he winks and pulls a roll of toilet paper out of his pocket. "Tengo papel del baño si quieres." It takes me a moment and then I realize he's hitting on me, assuming I'm a local woman who doesn't have basic amenities. He thinks he's going to make a connection with me through toilet paper. I consider my options. I can tell him the truth that I am also an American traveling in Cuba. I can walk away, or I can have some fun while giving him a little lesson in assumptions. Ooh, papel del baño? I decide to play into his Chiquita banana fantasy. He's hooked. He puts the roll of toilet paper back into his pocket and pulls me closer. I let myself be pulled. Yo soy John. Yo soy de California. ¿Sabes California? Ooh, California? Hollywood? Sí. ¿Sabes quién eres, Clint Eastwood? He drawls. I make my hands into guns and shoot off imaginary 6-shooters. Sí, he laughs. Yo soy de Carmel, donde vive Clint Eastwood. Ooh. I don't know what else to say. A part of me applauds him for attempting to speak the language of the country. Another part of me is creeped out by the fact that John the American is trying to impress me, an assumed and poor Cuban woman with toilet paper. I briefly consider being sympathetic. Haven't we all tried on alternative versions of ourselves to impress others? Maybe John the American is shy and he's doing the same thing, baby-stepping his way into being charming and genuine. Or maybe he's a douche. Eres muy bonita, he sighs. Debes de venir a visitarme en Carmel. He dons a fake look of being enamored. Oh, pero California es muy lejos. I feign sad face. Sí, he pauses. Yo tengo un barco. ¿Te gustan los barcos? Sí, me gustan los barcos. It goes on and on like this for a while. I wonder why he's traveling in Cuba. Does he make it a point to travel to places where women are poor and looking for a way out? He isn't ugly. He clearly has money. Two things that should make getting women anywhere easy. As our conversation progresses, it becomes clear to me that John the American isn't really interested in me. He wants to use his status to get into my communist panties. ¿Sabes? Tengo más papel del baño en mi cuarto. Carmel, California? I changed the subject back to his home. I've played long enough. I want him to leave me alone. I also want him to remember this exchange before he hits on women he assumes are poor and desperate. Sí, Carmel. Hay muchos artistas que viven cerca de ahí, ¿no? Sí, muchos artistas. I think of my aunt's hideous collection of tacky prints and coffee cups. Como Thomas Kincaid, el pintor de la luz. John from Carmel looks baffled. Sí, ¿cómo sabes Thomas Kincaid? Because I think Thomas Kincaid paints the most amateur, faux serene bullshit pieces and passes them off as art, and I hear he's a real asshole too. I hate his work. John from Carmel's jaw drops. He's more confused than anything. Your English, it's so good. Because, John, I'm from California too. He's silent for a moment, then he begins to laugh, blushing an even deeper red. I laugh too. He laughed from embarrassment and asked me where I'm from. I cut the pleasantries. I have more of the island to explore. So, maybe you want to get together sometime back in California? I look at him and instead of annoyance, I feel sad. Here he is in Cuba, in a world completely different from the one he lives in, and all he can think about is getting laid. I shake my head. No thanks. He pulls the roll of toilet paper out again and waves it at me optimistically. You sure you don't need any toilet paper? No, I think you need it more than I do. I walk away.